Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 200 and something. As you can hear, Kris isn't here, and it's just me and Kev.
So you can expect absolute professionalism throughout.
Yep. Total and utter focus. And as I was saying that, I got distracted by something. Yes, it's just me and Kev today. So, hello, and welcome to the TheSixthAxis podcast.
How are you? I just came to say hello. I should really put that jingle on the soundboard at some point.
I don't think the fans are happy about that one.
No? We need a new one.
A couple of people saying no, just don't do it.
Oh, right, wow.
So, sorry, tough.
Do it again. Do it better.
Make an original one. Twitter hellos. We have Stuart Hattle, Mr. Jimmy, Jasonham, Indie Marathon, otherwise known as Lucy JY23, Tough Cub, and Dave Owen. They've all said hello, so hello to you.
Hello, 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 and indeed hello.
No Germanos today.
Oh, right.
So if we could just get someone to round to his house to see if he's all right.
Yeah, that is weird.
That would be great. Just put our mind at rest. Obviously, we'll keep you updated with the Germanos situation. If he does appear through the recording, we will, of course, let you know, because we know you're waiting on bated breath.
With bated breath rather than on?
Yeah, not on, with.
Good.
Fuck it, all right? Let's try again. We will keep you updated with the Germanos situation. If he, of course, makes himself apparent during the recording, we, of course, will let you know, because we are aware that you are waiting with bated breath.
I think it's waiting on bated breath.
I nearly said it again, though. That's the problem. This week's news. Kev, what's the news?
Oh, well, I usually just sort of sit and let people do.
Okay.
Kris was.
Kris isn't here. The news is that there is no news.
Yeah, it's probably no news this week, I imagine. Right.
We are making fast progress.
Yeah.
Still no word from Germanos.
Oh my God.
We will keep you updated.
I do hope he's okay. I know you're waiting in bated breath. So.
You bastard. Yes, so this is what we did. And today's a bit different in that we aren't going to be taking it in turns to talk about different things that we've done, because
we haven't done different things.
We haven't done different things. We've pretty much done the same thing, which is Battlefront, to the point where we even played it together.
Yeah, like multiplayer style.
Yeah, like one of them newfangled
over
modes.
the internet.
I know.
Yeah,
it was magic. It was voodoo. This podcast is going to be almost exclusively, if not exclusively, Battlefront themed.
Yeah.
So if you have no interest in Battlefront,
just turn off now. The rest of it's not for you.
Yeah, you might as well just stop listening.
There's no spoilers, because there's nothing to spoil. There's no story. So if you're just interested in Battlefront but you don't want to, get too deep into it, well, first of all, you got the wrong idea of Battlefront. So maybe do a bit of research. And second of all, don't worry about it, because there's nothing to spoil. Really,
no, it's not like we're going to tell you that Darth Vader dies in the end, or that Luke and Leia are actually brother and sister.
Oh my God!
So
it's lucky Kate can't hear this.
Has she not seen it?
We're watching it now for the very first time. I mean, I've seen it, obviously.
What, now?
Not right now. That'd be rude. Multitasking. I can't do a podcast, eat a burrito, and watch a film.
Oh yeah, you got burrito in your hand as well. The multitasker that he is.
But we're watching, just as a slight tangent before we get started. You've heard of the Machete Order, I'm sure.
Yes.
So Kate and I are watching Star Wars in the Machete Order, and for her, it's her first experience of Star Wars. So that's going to be interesting to see how she finds it.
I don't understand that. What does that mean?
Oh, so when I said...
Does it mean that you're watching it in sequential order or in release order?
No, it's Machete Order. It's a guy...
What does that mean?
A guy who has a website with machetes in the URL wrote an article explaining the definitive way to watch the Star Wars films, and how it makes so much more sense than either of the two options you've just said. So the order, before I explain the reasoning, is 4, 5, 2, 3, 6. Right?
4, 5, 2, 3, 6.
Yeah. So what you get is 4 and 5, obviously the best two Star Wars films out of the 6. And you get introduced to the characters, and you see, all of the good stuff that goes on in Star Wars.
I see why he's done
then
that.
You go to the Empire Strikes Back, and it's arguably a better film, but it ends pretty badly for all the goodies. So, there's the whole issue about I don't want to spoil it. And, he's lost a hand, and Han Solo's frozen in carbonite. And then that's it. And then you do the sort of the equivalent of going like, 60 years earlier.
Yeah.
But then you do that for 2 films, and you get to see how Darth Vader became what he's just revealed to the audience that he is. And see, like, how did that happen? And you get to watch the parallels of Obi-Wan training Anakin as well as Luke. And the whole thing just makes a whole bunch of sense. The cool thing is you get to skip out episode 1 entirely. And not just because it's a bad film, although it is, but because the whole series works better without that film there. All of the new characters introduced in episode 1 are gone, like killed or just ignored by the rest of the Star Wars films after that film, pretty much, with the exception of Jar Jar having like 2 lines in the second film, whatever it is. And so you actually give yourself a more solid narrative and more direct comparison between Luke and his dad by just ignoring that. Nobody wants to see him as a little boy. It also means that, like, when obviously this podcast is full of Star Wars spoilers, so if you haven't seen it, sorry. But when like Padme and Anakin have romance, it's not like weird because she knew him when he was like a little boy, and then she's like, yeah, actually, he's pretty hot stuff now. He's grown up. Whereas the only passing reference is like, oh, you're not the same little boy that I knew on Tatooine or whatever, but you can easily infer that they were just kids together, so that works better.
I believe the actual reference is, the actual quote is, oh, you never used to have hair there.
No, I'm not sure that is the actual quote.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Might be a different
film?
cut, maybe, I don't know.
Oh, right, okay, sorry.
So yeah, and then all of this, but you've still got the tension waiting to resolve in episode 6. So you know what's gone on, and then you get an explanation as to like how that's come to be, and then you get episode 6, which is obviously the resolution of all that stuff, and you kind of get all of the stories coalescing into a finale rather than sort of a bit of a weaker one. Because if you watch them in release date order, then you get all that stuff, and then you have to watch Phantom Menace and all that. Yeah. If you watch them in chronological order, then you totally ruin the fact, the big reveal about Darth Vader and all of the stuff that goes with it. This article's really good. If you just Google machete order Star Wars, like, it's a really long article, but it's so persuasive. Like, I showed it to both my brothers, and they were both like skeptical before they read it, and both completely convinced after they'd read it. That was the best way to watch it.
Oh yeah, I can totally see the understanding behind it. It sounds like a good order to do it in, even if it does mean having to watch 2 and 3 again.
Yeah, I'm actually quite looking forward to it. I think I've only seen each one once.
Yeah, I don't think I went to the cinema and I had no interest in ever. I might get round to it perhaps before going to see The Force Awakens. Just to be fully up to.
Well, obviously, this is kind of why we're doing it at this time.
So, and Battlefield is
Battlefront.
Sorry, not Battlefield. I do apologise. Sorry, before I continue, Germanos update. Still no word.
Oh God, I do hope he's okay.
So Battlefront is a game about Star Wars that
I know you're all waiting into bated breath.
I know you're all waiting through bated breath. So Star Wars Battlefront is a game that takes place majorly.
That word.
Is that even a word?
Nope.
What is it?
Majorly, maybe. I don't know.
No.
Mostly?
Mostly. Takes place mostly during the original trilogy, so 4, 5, and 6, meaning you get to recreate or take part in the famous battles like Hoth, battles over Tatooine, and the place with Jawa. Endor, that's a good one, with the speeder bikes and stuff like that. So it's all again majoritely it's all it's all on online stuff with a heavy focus on multiplayer battles, whether it be dogfights or what do we call them, death matches, or a version of Capture the Flag, those sorts of things. However, there are single player missions where you get to do events like the Endor bike chases and stuff, which you can do on your own single player, but you can also do with a friend.
I have to say the single player bits feel quite tacked on. Like, they were suddenly made a decision quite late in the day. They're like, oh, people might not buy it if there's no single player. Let's put some of that in. And I don't know, like Battlefront isn't about that. Like the whole thing has always been about being on the front lines of the big Star Wars battles. And so I'm okay with the single player not being that great because the whole game, I bought the game knowing what it was, and so actually that's kind of like an extra that I hadn't anticipated.
I think so. I suppose it gives you something to play if your internet ever went down. Unless you have to connect to EA and stuff first to even get into that. I've not actually.
I haven't tried.
Know about that bit.
Probably not though. I'd be surprised.
So me and Kev got on there at the weekend, and I was privileged to be there for Kev's first ever attempt at the game, and we did the Endor chase, which is basically where we had to get on speeder bikes and race through the moon of Endor to capture the rebels. Yes,
to do something.
So it was basically just a big race. On
I wasn't very good at it.
Kev did say hello to trees quite a lot.
I very well acquainted.
I had previously played this mode and got myself acquainted to it. So what Kev didn't know is that my first few tens of games also spent crashing into trees. But I didn't tell him that at the time because I wanted to feel like,
quite superior.
I was just naturally good at the game.
Well, it did feel like that, so you did well there.
Yes, my life has meaning. Yeah, and I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I love the speeder bikes. I think they're absolutely brilliant. I think they've done to perfection, and I love the fact that whilst there is a clear path that you can follow on your speeder bike, everything is so fast and frenetic that because of obviously the forest around you, there is a lot of chance for you to go speeding into trees, which is always what I thought about the film. I always thought, imagine being on one of them. I'd never make it out of the forest.
Serious reactions and training, haven't they?
You'd really have to have the force with you.
None of them do. But then quite a lot of them do crash into trees as well. So
that is true. And you get all the sounds, and there's the Wilhelm scream in there. It's just brilliant. I loved it. Did you go on to play? Have you played anything else of it yet?
I played a little bit more on Sunday night, but I haven't really done any of the single player bits other than the ones we did together.
Yeah.
So I've just been doing the multiplayer stuff. It's weird. On the single player, you get 4 lives, but it's 4 lives between you.
Yeah, it's 4 lives even if you're on your own. But then, like Kev says, if you play with a friend, it's 4 lives between you. So, like I say, I was managing to look pretty good whilst Kev used all of our lives.
Yeah, except on Hoth.
Oh, on Hoth I was shit. Well, that's because I'm trying to take down the ATSTs, and invariably you end up flying into them.
Yeah, I guess if you're not a very good pilot, that is what happens.
Rude.
So sorry.
But yeah, because I've gone on to play some of the multiplayer stuff. I did some of the single player, but then I just wanted to be against other people, which is quite strange because normally I'd
that is a strange impulse, isn't it? I did exactly the same thing. I was like, that's weird. I don't usually go like,
no,
maybe I'll dip into the old multiplayer. Especially on my own. I wasn't like, if we'd been together, then maybe we'd been a bit braver about it. But this time round, it was,
which I thought was rather strange, but I've enjoyed it. And the reason I think I've enjoyed it mostly is because there isn't majoritarily, is because there isn't, as of yet, I haven't come across masses of spawners and spawn campers, and people that are just ridiculously good at the game.
I've managed to actually do okay myself.
And I think it's because most of them, there's a couple of missions that are like 6v6, but most of the modes that you play are full to the brim of
massive
other players. That it's just like there's so much going on that there
20v20 battles, aren't they?
There isn't time to just sit around and spawn camp. You've got to get in there and you've got to get stuck in. And I think that's a big reason why I'm enjoying it as much as I am, because everyone just seems to be going about trying to do their best for their side, which is quite rare. I'd say it's rare. I don't play much multiplayer, so it could be quite a common thing. But
something which I haven't experienced in multiplayer before is the sort of aerial combat stuff. I guess Battlefield, whose EA stuff, has done that and does that. But like, there's something about being in an X-wing or a TIE fighter and shooting down the opposition, and it's just
that's probably my favourite mode at the moment is dogfight.
So fun.
I absolutely love it.
So the first 3 games that I played, didn't realise you could lock on. And I was like, how are people doing that? Like, I swear, no one ever told me what lock on was.
I thought you didn't know how to lock on when we were doing the Endor mission, but I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to seem really patronising.
No.
Because I also didn't want to bring up the whole, if you press the thing, you get a map. conversation again.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
And
That would have been my response.
I thought, no, he must know that L2 locks on.
So my first 3 games in dogfighting multiplayer, I just got no kills at all. Because I was like, how is anybody doing this? I'm like getting 1 hit on a ship in the entire game, and that's mostly just a fluke. But yeah. So you hold down L2, and then as long as you keep the enemy in your screen, it locks on, and your shots start sort of homing towards
And then
them.
once your reticule goes yellow, that means you've got a proper lock on, and that's the best time to shoot.
Photon torpedo time or something.
Yeah, sock it to them. When I played the dogfight the other day, that I don't know if it's an update or because I'd never seen it before, but I started to get notifications saying you should share this moment with friends and stuff, and it was because I got 24 kills in a dogfight.
Nice.
Without any deaths.
Impressive. Whoa, that's amazing.
And then I became the Millennium Falcon, and it was just like, this is amazing!
Yeah. I became the Millennium Falcon as well, but it was still in one of the matches where I didn't know how to target anyone, so that was sort of wasted, wasn't it? I did manage to kill people by just flying into them.
Yeah, because they're near industry. So if you're not clear, if you're doing a dogfight, as with the on the ground modes, you have icons that you can pick up, which will give you normally a tertiary weapon, whether it be a grenade or a infantry turret or things like that. But when you're fighting dogfights, these tokens will repair your ship, recharge your photon torpedoes quicker, and then there is one hero token out there which is either shaped like a lightsaber for the rebels, or is it the same for both? Actually,
I've not seen the dark side one.
I think it's
maybe it's the same.
I think it might be the same,
it's
but
either
either way,
universal Star Wars symbol for hero time.
It's got a lightsaber in it. You pick that up, and if you're on the Imperial side, you become Slave 1, which is Boba Fett's ship. And if you're on the Rebel side, you become the Millennium Falcon. And it's not just an arbitrary thing either. It's not like you just get reskinned. It's because they are near indestructible, and it normally turns out that you have Slave 1, whoever's controlling Slave 1 and Millennium Falcon going at it, because they're the only ones that can sort of do any damage to each other. So they do add another dimension to the game. And yeah, I love the dogfights. And I think it's like you say, it's the fact that you're in an X-Wing or you're in a TIE fighter, and it's almost like some childhood nostalgia.
Yeah, the game has absolutely perfectly captured the Star Warsiness of it all.
The sound of it, and the graphics are absolutely beautiful. I know when we played the training mission, the X-Wing one, and obviously it was your first time seeing it, and you were just like, "That's gorgeous."
that is a
and it's almost photorealistic environments, and it's beautiful to play in.
Have you seen Toddy Hantz's mod for Star Wars Battlefront?
No.
Well, it is.
Give me a link.
I will give you a link, and maybe Kris can put a link on the site, so listener, you too can have a look. But it's basically this guy who specializes in modding games to make them look absolutely filmic, like completely.
Fuck off.
It just looks like footage from like a guy walked past at work and it's like, oh, cosplay. I was like, no, that's just footage from Battlefront, but it's been modded up. Obviously, it's on PC, not on.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it is incredible, and he's just got sort of grain and like chromatic aberration and just all these things that just make it unbelievable.
The Grand Theft Auto 5 video is amazing as well.
Yeah, he's got a couple. Yeah, there's that as well. I mean, there's like about 70 or 80 shots on Imager.
Wow.
And yeah, it's just incredible, like what he's done with it.
Super realistic.
So, yeah, I mean, it says he says in his post on Imager, like it takes about 30 to 40 frames off per second to run it, but like really, that's not
No,
that's not an unsurmountable problem.
60 frames per second, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I mean, you wouldn't want to play it like this, but 5 years time, that memory is going to be available, and
it's the PS5 people future.
And I think everyone, like anyone who's a gamer, has at some point said like one day games are just going to be like playing films.
Yeah.
And this really does look like that. Like it's indistinguishable from film footage to me.
That is amazing.
It's
quite scary, and it's scary considering when I look at Battlefront, most of the time I look around thinking this is photorealistic environment. To actually see it can be improved is mental.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Yeah, so we'll hopefully get them put up in the post for you to see as well. So have you played? You haven't played any other? What other modes have you played?
I've done
Dogfight.
My favourite, probably. I don't know. I've got two top ones. There's the just all out battle, right, where you've got the ground troops, the air, and the vehicles as well.
Yeah.
Which is just chaotic and amazing, and like you can be. The one I did was on Tatooine, and there's just like Walker, an AT-AT, like walking down this trench, and then like everyone else is just fighting. But then at some point, you pick up a token, and it's like, cool, now you got an X-wing, or rather, I think I was Imperial, so it's now you got a TIE fighter. And so you're like, cool, okay, well, I'll do that. And then you get in a TIE fighter, and then you can still see all the chaos of the battle going on underneath you, but like you're in a ship and flying over the top of it. And yeah, it's just amazing. And then like you can get a token that's now you have control of the AT-AT's head for a minute. And that's pretty fun as well, because then you're just like, pew, 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 pew. Just everyone's like dying left, right, and centre.
Because I did the obviously the AT-AT on the demo, the beta, which is the only mode that I haven't revisited actually, for no other reason than Dogfight has taken much of my attention. But I also played the Hero Hunt, which I was really looking forward to.
I've not done any of those yet.
The Hero Hunt was good. I was really looking forward to it because it made it sound, quite tense, a bit like Manhunt. But I think I've only played it once, and I think I played it completely wrong. In that when I became Darth Vader, when everyone else became a hero, they would go off and hide in a corner of the map, and everyone else would have to go and find them. Whereas when I became Darth Vader, I thought, I'm Darth Vader, who do you think you're fucking with? And went out into like the open and got killed. So
just because everyone shot you at the same time.
Yeah, because they were all after me, and although I knew that what was happening, I didn't fully understand that perhaps I shouldn't have put myself in
quite as
everybody's
invincible
aims.
Yeah.
So I'm going to revisit that one and play it properly. I also played Heroes versus Villains, which is where you have a 6v6 battle, and 3 of your team will be chosen to be heroes, and the other 3 are just regular soldiers or Imperial stormtroopers and stuff. So if you're on the Rebel team, you can be Leia, Han, or Luke. And if you're on the Imperials, you're Emperor, Palpatine, Darth Vader, or Boba Fett. And they're chosen at random, so you then just basically have a fight. And the heroes tend to go for the heroes because they're they're equally matched in terms of strength and health and stuff. Whilst all the other players are trying to either support them or try and get the cheeky death in so that you can, have the victory of saying, I took down whoever.
Yeah.
And that was I really enjoyed that. I didn't think it was going to be much fun, but actually I really enjoyed that because there was a real sense of team playing, even though you didn't know the people or wasn't talking to them. It really did instill that team effort in you because you were trying to protect the heroes or following the heroes because obviously they're going to protect you and take most of the fire to start with, and you can just pick off the people around the edges. So that was really good. And then the other one that I really enjoyed was, I'm trying to remember what it's called, Droid Run.
All right.
Oh, and Cargo's capture the flag basically just with a bit of technology. That is really good. And I was really proud because everyone else was like shooting. And I was like, no, fuck this is Cargo. I went and grabbed that thing 8 times and won the game and got the most. At the end, I got my name up twice on the thing.
Yeah, so on the results screen for each match, there's 3 awards given out, like most kills, and then a couple of others on either side.
Yeah.
So you get your name in lights for everyone else to see for a bit.
And I took up 2 of those slots after doing that. I was like, yeah. But the other one that I really liked was Droid Run, which is where you have, I think it's an 8v8 setup, but on the playing field, there are 3 droids that are running around. So they're mobile droids and they're going around in circles and they're quite fast. And you have to, a bit like Drop Zone from the beta, you have to take control of each of those droids. So you have to run up to it, hold down square, and then defend it. But because they're moving,
you've got to keep an eye on them as well as on everyone else.
You've got to stick with your droid or leave it and come back and see if they're doing all right. But yeah, the fact that they're moving really adds another dimension to that game mode. And that makes it real fun because you can sort of hide, but then you turn around and it's wandered off and you're like, shit, where's it gone? You got to go and find it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a really good mode as well.
I've played one of the ones I quite liked was there's like a walker mode. I can't remember what it's called, but basically I don't know if this was the one that was on the beta, but
The beta was Assault on Hoth and the drop zone at
okay,
Sullust.
so in this mode, the rebels always have the same objective, and it's different from the objective that the Imperials have. So you have a set number of opportunities for Y-wing bombers to come in and take out the AT-ATs.
Yeah, that is what the beta was. The beta was just the Assault on Hoth mission, though.
Right, so I did it in Endor, this mission.
Yeah, so for those listening that haven't played or don't know, so you pick a game mode. So it might be Droid Run or it might be Dogfight or whatever. But there might be like 3 maps within that. So you get to do a Walker Assault at Hoth or a Walker Assault in Endor or on Sullust. So you get similar objectives but different maps.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the planet Sullust.
No, I think it's one from the new film.
Ah.
I think. I could be completely wrong, but I think it is
Just
one of the...
have a quick look on Wikipedia.
I think it is one of the new film ones. Isn't Jakku the exclude that you get
there's a new one, isn't there? It's Clone Wars, Battle over Sullust during the Clone Wars.
That'd be why.
I think appearances... Lots of appearances. Yeah, don't know. I think it's Clone Wars. Possibly the Clone Wars film or series? Don't know. I'm trying. This Wikipedia is too detailed.
Yeah.
I just want to know, like, what film was it in?
To the point where it's got an orbital position, the amount of suns.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
grid coordinates. M17 for all you people with the the grids out there. Trade routes. It's got fucking hell. What universe has he created? Orbital period. 263 standard days.
Of course. Oh, a Sullustan. Sullustan is like that guy. They're with the guys with the cheeks and the big black eyes. You know those guys with the ears and the don't really know how to describe those. They're small. They've got big ears and like
the one
cheeks that look...
the one that lives under Jabba the Hutt. That little rat thing.
No, not that small. Like about sort of halfling height, like hobbit sized. They almost look like they're wearing a mask. Their cheeks, their jowls.
Native species Sullustans. Let's have a look. Oh yes, I know. He's one of Lando Calrissian's. He's Lando Calrissian's mate.
Yeah.
Here they fly the Millennium Falcon in Return of the Jedi.
There you go.
That's the one.
There you go.
And just to be precise, Kev was giving us a detailed rundown of their height there. They're 1 to 1.8 meters tall.
Good.
Distinctions: large ears, scarns, ultra-sensitive hearing, jet black eyes, naturally tucked-in cheeks.
There have been Sullustan Jedis in the past.
Wow.
Well, obviously, in the
in
the non-canon past.
Yeah.
It's all been eradicated. All right, back on track.
Just before we go any further, news from Germanos.
Oh, yeah?
Still not arrived.
All right. Derby's okay. I know you're all waiting inside bated breath.
Anywho.
So I was going to ask...
we've had no word from Kevling. We're now half an hour or so into the podcast, and we've had no hello.
Interesting. Maybe he doesn't like Battlefront.
Maybe.
So I was going to ask, have you played any of the Star Wars Battlefront companion app for iPhone?
No, I looked at it, but it looked to me like it was just a way you can check your stats and ranks. And
so it's got a game in there, right? And you can you can play the game to earn yourself stuff in like star cards to use in Star Wars. And I thought, that's brilliant. That's such a great idea. That's total incentive to play the game. And then like when I'm not around my PS4, I can still play the game and get stuff from my thing. And then it makes me more excited to go back and play it on my PS4. And that's a good thing. However, my assumption about it was wrong. There is that relationship, but it's reversed. So you get stuff for the app by playing Battlefront. It's like, well, I don't care about the app. I care about Battlefront. Like, I want the real stuff.
If I could carry my PS4 and TV with me, I would.
I mean, I do have a Vita, so it does have that remote play, but, no shoulder buttons makes for a pretty terrible experience.
Especially when they're the fire buttons.
Yeah. But that said, as a standalone game, the Star Wars Battlefront companion app has this base command game, which is actually pretty fun. It's like a deck building game, right? So in Battlefront on the PS4, all of the sort of grenades and special weapons that you can get are all like shoulder buttons, and they're all what they call star cards. I think they're called star cards. And so it kind of takes the form of cards, and you can swap out your loadouts for different stuff that you can have. So you'll have a grenade, or like a concussion grenade, or ion cannon for droids, or all these different things. And so the base command game on the iPhone takes that a step further and turns it into a deck building game. So you've got all those cards, but you choose which ones you can have 24 to bring into a game, and they all have different effects. And so the game takes place on a radar that's split into 4 quadrants, and with your base in the middle. And every turn, some units of the Imperials advance on your base. And it's up to you to pick. You get 3 cards, 3 unit cards, and 3 command cards each time. And so this could totally just be like a board game with cards in it. And yeah, so as they advance, you get there's 3 different types of units. There's infantry, and then there's like star fighters, I guess, like X-wings and that, possibly just X-wings. But in the middle there's A-wings as well, and I don't know what they're called, but there's like rebel bomber ships as well, and they each have different ranges. So as well as the 4 quadrants, each quadrant is split into 4 like further radial segments. So they've got basically 5 turns to get to the base before they start attacking the base.
Yeah.
And so you've got those turns in order to try and take them down with all the different cards that you've got. And because it's a deck builder, you don't know what you're going to have. You only pick 3 of your cards at random each time. And so it's about strategically using the units that you've got to prioritize the targets and make sure that you take down the ones that are most going to affect you before you begin. Before they can get there.
Yeah.
There are like occasionally I've finished the first sort of campaign, which is 8 sieges, and at the end of that there's a mission with Boba Fett in it, and it's so hard, like, because once you get a hero on there, they can just change the rules, like they can change quadrants, or like just take your base's shields down, or just anything that completely disadvantages you. And there's an AT-AT in the same stage as well, so you're just trying to battle that. And but Boba Fett and a few other of the units have a regen like effect on their character, which means that if you don't kill them all of their health in a single turn, the next turn they have their full health back. And so it's like, one health, they just had 1 out of like 7 hearts left, and it's not enough. But on top of that, Boba Fett has a respawn, so when you do get him down to no health, he just like respawns with full health again. So yeah, it's pretty tricky, but it's good fun, and it's quite strategic, and I'm actually quite enjoying building my deck. And although I would much prefer that my performance in this game affects Battlefront, I am kind of looking forward to unlocking new cards in this from Battlefront now. Even though my initial reaction was like, "Oh, that's awful! Like, what's even the point in playing this?" Like, I'm actually enjoying this game enough.
And I suppose if you're enjoying playing Battlefront,
exactly. It's not like I'm going to be like, "Oh, got to go and play Battlefront so I can build my deck." Like, yeah, exactly. And so, the cards that you can get are like, let's see, what can I unlock? So, Iron Torpedo, for example, the unlock criteria is you have to. Oh, that's interesting. Sorry, I'm reading at the same time as talking. So, a T-47 airspeeder, for example, is a new ship type that I don't have yet. And in order to unlock it, I have to use a T-47 airspeeder 10 times in Battlefront, and then I've got it for the game. Oh, right. So it's all that sort of thing where it's just like use X number of times and you'll get it.
In which case, just play Walker Assault on Hoth.
Yeah. X-Wing Shield, which you get +1 shields on your X-Wings, or you can equip it on an X-Wing to get +1 shields. And to get that, you've got to get 30 kills with an X-Wing in Battlefront. There's loads of stuff. There's so many cards. Like I say, you build a deck of 24 cards. It's just a shame that it's not the other way around, because it would be so much better if I could unlock cool stuff. Because there's quite an action RPG at least, element to Battlefront on the PS4. Like, you have a rank and a level, and you get different weapon unlocks and star card unlocks as you level up and progress. So it'd be nice to have some exclusive ones that you can only get from doing that stuff. It would just, I think, it makes good sense for them as a company to to broaden their reach and to advertise the game
a little bit.
Yeah. But there isn't any of that, and but it's still a good game, and it's a free app. So if you're looking for something to pass the time, actually, although it doesn't advertise itself particularly as Star Wars Base Command, it's that game lives inside the Battlefront companion app, and it's pretty good.
Cool. I will definitely have a look at that. Even if, because I think I'm going to get quite into Fallout. Because already I've chosen it above. Sorry, not Fallout. Battlefront, because already I've chosen it over Fallout a couple of times, not through any dislike of Fallout, just because I knew that if I start Fallout, I'm going to end up sinking a couple of hours into it, and at the moment I'm just looking for a quick half hour or something, so I know I can get a couple of games in on Battlefront. We definitely need to play it again, and this time go for online multiplayer.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking
for a proper sesh.
We've probably talked enough about Battlefront for the listeners. Like, if you've liked what you've heard, you're probably going to get it or have already got it. And if you haven't, you've probably switched off by now anyway. So, whatever. Who cares about you? So maybe we'll just stop talking about it and go and play it. Stop podcasting.
I don't know if I can.
All right, fair enough.
You should have given me some warning. You can't just spring this on me.
No, I don't know. Yeah, well, whatever.
You prick.
Hey, come on now.
You park.
Your TV's in use, is it?
I think so. Yes. I don't really know. Yeah, no. I'll let you know if I can. What was I going to say?
You're going to let us know how Germanos is doing.
Oh, Germanos update. Still no word.
Oh, I guess he died.
Oh no. It's the woman that ate a fly all over again.
Did Germanos eat a fly?
I don't know. I don't know why. Why would he do that?
No, I don't know. Why did the woman eat the fly in the first place?
I don't know why she swallowed a fly.
Oh right, perhaps she'll
die. But then, of course, she swallowed the bird to catch the spider.
Yeah,
it's just really
swallowed the cat to catch the bird,
and then a dog to catch the cat who caught the bird who was there to catch the spider.
Then what caught the dog?
The dog was caught by a goat.
No, that's
or a cow.
No, doesn't happen. Why would a cow have any interest in catching a dog?
Are you really worrying about the logistics of?
Yeah,
just an old lady who swallowed a fly.
I mean, the swallowing thing, fine, but her choice of animals, no,
it is a bit bizarre. I think it's a cow. Let me just double check. But I think the cow was swallowed to catch the dog, who was obviously swallowed to catch the cat, who was swallowed to catch the bird, who was swallowed to catch the spider that wriggled and tickled inside her.
Yeah.
Let's just find out. There was an old lady.
No, you were right. Cow, and then after the cow, there was an old lady who swallowed a horse. She's dead, of course.
No, she swallowed a goat.
Oh, I don't have a goat in the version I'm looking at.
And then she swallowed a cow to catch the goat.
All right. In the version I'm looking at, it's which is on rhymes.org.uk.
See, I'm on poppyfields.net. And then she swallowed a horse and died, of course.
Oh, okay. Slight variance.
So that's, tragic news. We hate to be the bearer of bad news on the podcast, but...
that is the old lady who swallowed the fly is no longer with us.
If you want to send condolences or flowers, please address them to
podcasts@TheSixthAxis.com.
That's the one.
Yeah.
We also will be accepting donations to the RSPCA shelter where she was obviously employed.
Very much feared.
They should have background checked her because it turns out she was swallowing the animals. So in hindsight, she was quite cruel and really doesn't deserve your condolence. So let's fuck her.
Terrible woman.
Let's leave her just...
Really terrible woman. I'm not sure about Lewis's suggestion, but...
News update on Germanos.
Oh, yep.
We still have no word.
Fine.
I'm seriously worried.
I'm not fussed.
I have just forgotten that was the whole reason we started the old lady with the fly.
But good to have it one at the start and end, wasn't it?
And
Good
yeah, absolutely, it's good to
both sides,
sandwich it
in case something happened whilst discussing it.
Exactly. If you have Battlefront or looking to get Battlefront, then by all means find us on PSN.
Yeah,
because
Kevatron 400 and Gastos 84.
Yes. Because I think it might be good if we could get a few people.
Yeah, I think it'd be excellent
in a squad.
Like I say, you can have 20v20 battles. So
yeah, I don't have 40 friends.
I don't have 40 friends. I don't have 4 friends. So 40's a stretch.
40's 10 times as much.
Good maths.
I'm good at maths.
Yeah.
Anyway. So this has been the shorter, more concise,
more focused,
more professional podcast of the TheSixthAxis.com episode 200 and you have been listening to Kevatron 400.
Yeah.
Say goodbye, Kev.
Oh, happy Thanksgiving as well. Don't forget, because
we're not American.
Well, it's Black Friday tomorrow, according to all of the UK retail outlets.
Yes, but they're just
so excuse me for getting confused about my own national identity.
That's because they're just trying to take something back from the Americans.
Yeah. It's working as well, though, isn't it? It's the annoying thing.
Yeah, well, I'm not buying anything. That's a lie. I have my set sight on a 5-box mystery box, which is £60, but in that you get £130 worth of gadgets.
£130 worth of crap you'll never use.
Yeah, you say that, but I won't use them. But there is also a 1 in 5 chance of winning a BB-8 toy, which again I have no real interest in or will ever use. It means I'll be able to have a BB-8 toy. So say goodbye, Kev.
Yeah, see you later. See you on the Battlefront, won't I?
Will. It's bye from him, and it's goodbye from me.
The Sixth Axis podcast.
Germanos update.
Oh yeah. I was very close. I was nearly right on the edge of hitting the spacebar then.
Germanos update.
Yep.
We have no word.
Thank God for that.
And I've checked the news sites in Poland, and we have no instances of an accident or.
But we don't really know what his actual name is, do we? So
yes, we do. It's Tomasz Niemczek.
Well,
remember he was a question. Oh, you weren't there.
I wasn't here, of course.
You weren't there. He was. It was a question in the 200th episode podcast quiz.
Have we got a quiz or any questions? We should probably do that.
I don't think. I'll just double check.
Probably not worth doing a quiz with one contestant, is it?
I could do a test.
Yeah,
I can give you
like we said at the start, there's it's very professional. This
I can give you a mock exam.
Yeah.
Hello. Tough Cub says pomegranate in reference to his porn. And
Listen
Jason
back last week if you don't understand that.
Says, "Are we stealing Thanksgiving from the Yanks too? If so, hello, happy Thanksgiving."
I'm making some pumpkin pie and going to a Thanksgiving party on Sunday.
Loser.
But it is an American person's house who lives in England. So
fair. Pumpkin pie always sounds like the rankest thing on the planet.
Have you ever had it?
No, I haven't.
So don't judge it.
But I didn't say it tastes like it, did I? I said it sounds like it.
Depends, really. Have you ever eaten a pumpkin? Have you ever eaten a butternut squash?
Yes.
Do you like those?
Yes.
Sort of similar to that.
Is it?
Yeah.
Then why don't they call it butternut squash?
Because it's different. It's similar.
Is it?
But a different thing. Yeah.
Is it?
I believe so, yes.
Right.
Tell you what, though, it's really hard to find pumpkins after Halloween in the UK.
And do you know how many pumpkins get wasted?
A lot.
Like tons worth.
Yeah. I can imagine
that's like 4 pumpkins.
Well, if you get the good ones.
Yeah.
I had to get tinned in the end because there's just no fresh pumpkins available after Halloween in the UK because we just throw them in the ground.
What a bunch of bastards.
Yeah.
You can't cut a face into it and set fire to it, then what good is it?
Yeah.
You heathens. What's his face? Mr. Jimmy.
Oh, yeah.
It says, "Hi, peeps.
Hello.
Battlefront, hey? Pretty this game is." I can't help but think that Battlefront is probably a
little offensive,
bigoted version of some sort of shooty game.
Battlefront.
Really? And to be quite frank, Mr. Jimmy, I want no part of it.
But it is pretty. I'll give him that.
No comment. Oh, update on the Germanos situation.
Oh,
He's still not responded. We have not heard from Germanos in 44 minutes. So we are.
there can
now,
only be one real conclusion to draw here, can't there?
exactly. We are now coming to the realization that
He's
Germanos,
joined the circus.
Oh,
what were you?
I was going to announce his death.
Oh, that's possible as well. I
know you've already announced it.
Dead or Circus.
Dead or Circus.
That's the next week's game. Next week's quiz.
It's next week's quiz.
Yeah.
Dead or Circus?
Dead or Circus?
Incorrect. It's both. He's a member of the Dead Circus. Say bye-bye, Kev.
Yeah, bye-bye, Kev.
And it's bye-bye from me.
The Sixth Axis Podcast.
How now, brown cow?
Tip of the tongue to the top of the teeth.
The arsonist had oddly shaped feet.
Yeah,
you've ruined it.
I got nothing.